tax issues, economic hardship, police brutality, and gender equality. Now, lawmakers and officials always appeal to Nigerian youth to shun protest and seek dialogue for resolution. But whenever there is a time for dialogue, do they actually present themselves for dialogue? Before the situation culminates to a protest, do they listen to the plea or the cries of the people? Okay, now let's look at some historical protests in Nigeria and how significantly they impacted Nigeria's socio-economic and political structure. The Aba Women's Riot was known as the Women's War. It was a major anti-colonial revolt by women in southeastern Nigeria. On November 1929, thousands of Igbo women marched against the British colonial authorities because of the imposition of taxes on women, a policy seen as exploitative and unjust. The women used a traditional practice of sitting on a man to express their displeasure, which included singing and dancing around the houses of warrant chiefs and colonial officials. The protest lasted until early 1930, and it resulted in the death of 50 women, but forced the colonial government to abandon the tax and revise its policy regarding women. Have you noticed the pattern? Anytime there's a protest, people die. Okay, now the coal miners' strike of 1949. In 1949, Enugu coal miners went on strike to demand better working conditions and higher wages. The strike, which began in November, quickly escalated when British colonial police opened fire on the striking workers at the Iva Valley mine on November 18, which killed 21 miners and injuring 51 others. This tragic event intensified national sentiments and fueled the struggle for Nigeria's independence. In other words, for freedom to be achieved, people die. Ali must go protest. In 1978, Nigerian students launched nationwide protest against the increase in tuition fees and the reduction of student grants by military government led by General Olusegun Obasanjo. The protest was sparked by a speech from the then Education Minister, Colonel Ahmadu Ali, who insisted on the policy changes despite widespread discontent. The protest, known as Ali must go, culminated in violent clashes with security forces, leading to the death of several students and the temporary closure of universities across the country. The demonstrations forced the government to reassess its educational policies and highlighted the power of student activism in Nigeria. Now, Occupy Nigeria 2012 protest. The Occupying movement was a series of protests and strikes that erupted in January 2012 in response to the government's removal of fuel subsidies, which led to a sharp increase in fuel prices. The protest began on January the 2nd, lasted for over a week, bringing major cities like Lagos, Abuja, and Kano to a standstill. It was organized by labor unions, civil society groups, and ordinary citizens. The movement drew attention to issues of corruption, economic mismanagement and stagnation, and the high cost of living. So, 2020, the famous EndSARS protests that most of our Gen Z were part of. One of the most significant recent protests was the EndSARS movement on October 2020. It began as a social media campaign against the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, a unit of Nigerian police force accused of widespread human rights abuses, including extrajudicial killings, torture, and extortion. The protest quickly gained momentum, with thousands of young Nigerians taking to the streets in cities across the country. The government initially disbanded SARS on October 11, but protests continued demanding comprehensive police reform. The movement then culminated in the tragic Lekki toll gate shooting on October 20, where security forces allegedly opened fire on unarmed protesters, resulting in multiple deaths and injuries. Then, the fearless protests and the 10 days of rage, organized by a couple of civil society groups, Omoyele Sowore and a couple of Nigerians, which we saw a couple of minors actually being arrested by the government of the day under the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. These minors, after they were presented in court, the president asked that they all be released. It was indeed a movement specifically more witnessed in the northern part of the country. Ladies and gentlemen, before I proceed, let me introduce my analysts in the studio today. I actually have Mr. Tony Mbata right here in the studio. Mr. Tony, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. I have Mr. Lawal Ekundayo right here as well in the studio. Mr. Lawal Ekundayo, good evening.
Good evening.
And I actually have Bamidele Damilere right here with us, who is a legal practitioner. He'll be giving us the legal perspective to issues I'll be discussed this evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Nice to
Let
be
me
here.
start with you.
Okay.
Is there anything constitutionally wrong with organizing a protest?
No, there is nothing wrong with organizing a protest. In fact, it is it is a manifestation of the freedom of expression under the Constitution.
Okay.
You see, Chapter 2 of the Constitution provides for the economic, social, and cultural rights of citizens, which is simplicity. It means that it puts certain responsibility on the government to provide education, amenities, to perform the basic function of government. However, the chapter 2 is not justiciable. That is, you cannot go to court to enforce it against the government.
Okay.
So the way the layman, the ordinary Nigerian on the streets can enforce it is by protesting, by saying, government, I do not like the way the country is going. I do not like the policy. However, in the situation we find ourselves, it's quite appalling that the government of the day is trying to criminalize protest. People, Nigerians, have the right to protest. They have the right to show their dissatisfaction against the government, and it is nothing criminal. It is nothing criminal. In fact, I see it as an evidence of patriotism. If you love your country, then you will stand up against any wrong that's been done to the country. Because this is not a personal thing.
All right.
It's a collective thing. It's a Nigerian thing. Not me, not you. Because what affects one person will definitely affect all. Yeah. And they were giving us the history of the protest. Ugly incidents that took place during protests. Even if you check from the time of the Aba riot, the government has always had a part to play in violence when it comes to protests. Check the history of Nigeria. Every time there is violence in the protest, the government has played a role either actively or passively. And the government has already fueled. They are putting in a lot of gasoline right now, making it available for a bonfire. Certain individuals say, we want to protest, we think the government is not doing it. Why don't you let them do it? I do not know why the government of the day does not want anybody to speak up. And it is appalling, because we are a democracy. I don't know whether Nigeria is no longer a democratic state where citizens can no longer show and speak against the wrongs of the government. So it's appalling. And there's no constitutional basis for the government to ban protest.
There is no constitutional basis.
There's no constitutional basis to ban protest.
So why is this administration afraid of protest?
I would say this administration is afraid of criticism generally. Check the antecedents of APC since APC came into power. If you try to criticize the government, they would use ethnicity. If that doesn't work, religion. They've tried everything, and it's actually sad, because it is taking division, bigotry, fanaticism in the country. And right now the country is not really stable, and we don't need any political actors to even make the situation worse. The government should be trying to manage the situation, not escalate it. It is so disheartening that those in the helms of affairs who are supposed to think of the people first are more concerned about themselves.
Interesting. So
and if can I add something to it?
Okay.
Now it's another thing that I want to add to it is that anytime there is a counter protest, the government doesn't complain. No, if somebody wants to protest against some aspect of governance that is not appealing to them, to the populace, the government come out and begin to say so many things. It will cause this and that. But if there's a counter protest, you get it. There's a counter protest. You see that government allow it and even encourage it. Okay, look at this one. Look at the one Chore wants to do. And you went to court. Police have been talking. They took him to court. No, court should try to. But there was a counter protest now. There was a counter protest, and the government did not say anything about that counter protest. The police did not stop that counter protest. They didn't take them to court. They didn't even tell them to write to them. They just allowed the counter protest to take place. Whereas the one that they see that the opposition wants to do, that's when they will now begin to know it's volatile, it's very wrong, it's a system, and then you begin to see the double standard.
Mr. Lawal, for me, it's not even about being opposition or no opposition. Remember, the protest is not even is not being organized by a political party. It's not being organized by a political party. I don't know why the ruling power right now are so scared of people speaking up. If you are doing the wrong thing, then you should not always cry foul. You should be able to stand by your decision. And I went through because I saw the process.
Okay, I'm coming. Mr. Tonimbata, the Nigerian police has initially, we heard police won against Free Nnamdi Kanu protests near Aso Rock. Later, we heard by SP Benjamin Hundeyi that that's not true. They never stopped anyone from organizing. Later, we heard that there's a court order to impede the process from taking place. Later, we heard that they can go ahead with the protests, but they should not go to Aso Rock or the National Assembly. We've been hearing counter narratives. But Omayele Sowore very recently said that the protests will hold. Now, like I said, there have been several talks about it and contrasts about it. My question to you has protests in Nigeria within this administration or the administration before, do you think it may become criminalized or considered to be treasonable?
No, if the lawyer have answered the question that you're asking me.
There's a difference.
Because, yes,
there's a difference with what the Constitution stipulates and the attitude and reaction of the government on any planned protest.
Yes, you ask a very fundamental question. You say, what is the reason of the present government? Why are they against protest? The answer is that they are failures. And when you know that you're a failure, you always, anything that want to expose you, you want to clamp down on it. The question you ask, there's nothing that's supposed to criminalize anything about protest, because it's our fundamental right. Remember, ab initio, we gave our sovereign power to some set of people to take charge of us, and we have that right to collect it or to show when you are, going opposite direction that no, this is not what we sent you for. We have, that is our right to tell you this place you are going is not what we sent you for.
Is the government of the day right to be skeptical and afraid of the genuinity or authenticity of any gathering or any protest that they are not the ones in charge of? The reason why I asked is how the NSAS protest degenerated to the point it did, where public infrastructure was destroyed by certain elements. It started peaceful. Although there are different narratives. There are narratives that the government of the day was the one that infiltrated the peaceful protest by starting off, creating a sense of chaos. Others say some elements as well, who supposedly were psychologically disturbed or used the opportunity to just create certain chaos, were the ones that made the NSAS protest degenerate to the point it did. And it cost the government of the day, the state government of the day, more money to rebuild some of those public facilities and infrastructure. Do you think that this could be a good standing reason as to why the government of the day curtails any form of a protest they are not the ones in charge of?
Government of the day, they don't even have the right to curtail any protest. They are not the initiator. In the sense that, but the issue is that, like the lawyer said, is that they are the people. If you watch all the protests in Nigeria, particularly APC government, you see that the government of the day will go and insinuate a problem.
They will instigate
here, and also recruit some people so that it will look as if the people that are protesting for the fundamental things are the people causing the problem. But check it, but forgetting that this APC government, remember what happened during Jonathan was there, and they called Jonathan many names. They even built a coffin that Jonathan has been buried. Even you see a lot of things that happened at that particular time, that the president of the United States of America was also carrying placards and saying, free our Chibok girls. Right. And all these things, during their own tenure or their own time, they don't allow it to happen. Because that's why I say, when you are a failure, anything, watch it. You will also climb down on people that want to expose you.
Mr. Lawal Kundare, has protest in Nigeria become a political tool? Is it now a political process? Has it been politicized?
Now, no matter what you call it, a protest is a protest.
Okay.
A protest is any language you want to give it to the political, which on social, education, anything you want to. I don't care. Protest is a protest, and a protest is a message.
Okay.
It's simply a message. I don't know why we are afraid. The government is afraid of a message. It's a message. So if people like protest, like that exercise you gave the example,
okay,
it was peaceful all through. In fact, some people even turn into fun. Okay. Catching fun. They will just go there, catch fun, and there was no until the government, one of the instruments of the government came on board, and they did outside what is expected. You call soldiers to come to a place where people are having peaceful protests and even dancing. What do you think soldiers are coming to do? To preach? They go to war now, and when they get to war, they don't go there to preach. They go there to shoot. They go there to kill. So if you call the soldiers to come there, you know that your motive is for soldiers to do their work, and their work is to shoot. There's no excuse about that. Now, normal, you see all over the, you see, even when Trump went to United Kingdom, he went to see the head of government. There were protests on the way. People protested across, they put their placard. He just look at them. Everybody look at them. He went. He didn't. I mean, it's just a message.
All right.
All over the world,
much.
it's a message. But here, we don't have. It's because we don't have democracy, and people that are ruling us, they are people whose mentality is below standard. That's where I see it.
Okay.
Yes,
Now,
I'm
coming, Mr. Tunimbata. There's a reason why. Because the person who is in charge of this government is known as somebody who is one of those pioneers of protest from the Nadeko days. But Shore believes that President Tinubu's involvement in the protests at the time wasn't genuine. It was all for political reasons and for personal reasons. Let's take a listen to him very briefly on the Mycon podcast he had with Sheun Okunbaloye.
Those who are feeling that, at the time that you were, in fact, there are those who said that you did a lot of stuff for the likes of Amechi, you did a lot of stuff against the government at the time.
So, in fact, one of the biggest works I did was against Tinubu. In 2008, his drug story, history from that Chicago, United States court in Chicago. I was the one who first got a copy of it and published online. The entire drug court case.
Oshure,
Yes.
why does it look that you hate Tinubu so much?
No, I don't see. I'm
Do you
just
hate
explaining I don't hate any one of them.
Why
but,
do you
but I
dislike him?
I hate their politics. I won't deny that. I hate the fact that they are direct opposite of what they've ever promised to be. So you can imagine that this is a Tinubu that we all, during June 12, claim we want a better country. I didn't meet him I met Abiola. We were more like directly involved with the top during June 12, which is Abiola. Even Abiola I didn't meet more than once, which you have seen the video from Channels TV. It was an interview that was carried out by the proprietor himself. I was with Nahuru, and they had a meeting inside. It's like I went in to scatter the meeting because I went into all these politicians that I told him, I said, all these people will betray you. And in an attempt to come in and try to give me money, I reject. So when we were leaving...
MK wanted to
he
silence you.
He had a duffel bag full of cash beside him. And I think that's the way he operated.
So
when we came in, he just, student leader. Because I don't know who ushered us into their big meeting, but we were the ones who were making all the big gains during June 12 protests. So he said, student leader. And I said to him, I said, Chief, all these people you are saying.
So the Kingibes, the Anauros, all of them were in the
there.
room.
So Anahoro now said, I agree with him. What's this man who now, Zugina, Mbakwe, all of them were there. Jakonde, all of them were there. They were inside his living room is like a stadium. All of them. And I think they had already given them their money. All of them are crushed to their money. So he looked at me and was giving us 800,000 naira.
At the time?
At that time. It's a lot of money. And I said,
this was 92?
1993.
93, yeah.
I said, Chief, we didn't come here for money. He was shocked. He said, nobody has ever rejected money from me. Just use it for buy fuel, transportation. I said, do you know where we're coming from? He like, this money is too much. Even if we are flying a helicopter, I don't think it will cost that much. So we started to leave. And then he stood up and followed me and Nahoro. And we walked out of the place, and John Momo was waiting. That was that interview where I was behind him when I was 22 years old. Yes. So those are the people I know. But to go back to my point, you see them saying, we wanted a better country. But when you look at the antecedents around that time and later, you knew that they were all in bed just looking for power. So it turns out that Tinubu then were involved with the military somehow, with Babangida,
What do you mean?
They were, if you know what they did, they were friends. You know, he had been a senator under the diarchy that Babangida set up. So they were all working together. It was just a disagreement over power sharing.
But wouldn't that be contradictory though?
Yeah.
If you say the Tinubus of this world were in bed with the military, they were fighting. He himself and the rest, he was in fact backing the pro democracy agitators.
You should know this, and we need education around it. The military at that time had factions. They owned that faction of the military that they were working with. They were more on the side of the Babangida people, you know, and they were part of the discipleship of Yaradua Senior, the one who died in, I think, Abakalaki prison. So, but the faction that Abacha belonged to was the one who ran them out of town and suppressed. But if you look at it beyond then, when even Abiola was supposed to be released, they kind of switched gear and they became some of the best friends with Abubakar Abdul Salami. When Abubakar Abdul Salami took over power and handed over power to them, do you know where they took him to get an award? Chicago State University. I was one of the people who went and protested against him there, which led Kayode Oladele, who was now in the House of Rep, to serve Abubakar with a lawsuit accusing him of killing Abiola. They eventually settled the lawsuit out of court and paid.
These are allegations that Tinubus of this world were in bed with the military. You don't have evidence.
I do. They can't deny it. I think he said it himself when he met Babangida. You know, I've given you enough circumstantial evidence to know that these things are true. For instance, when I went to Chicago to protest against Abubakar, I saw Ashoba there, and I said, Chief, so all along you people have been in bed with these people. He just told me, he said, Omodenia, you know that you are a small boy now.
Maybe it's a way to also get the military out at the end of the day, because there is a way that you get to the street. Sometimes you get.
All right, it was quite an extensive interview, but what he said is different from what we know historically. That the president fought for democracy, part of NADECO, went on exile just to make sure that Nigeria receives independence and no longer is part of the military. Omoyele Sowore is saying something else. He's literally saying that he was in bed with the government of the day, that they just acted like they were fighting for the interests of Nigerians. They were only fighting for themselves, and that he has evidence to prove it. Now, there are talks that Sowore has been so bold and brazen in saying a lot of things that the government of the day has not come out to dispute. Rather, they only discredit his personality. But they haven't specifically disputed any of the allegations and any of the claim. So if, according to the history that we know about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu fighting for democracy, organizing protests, freedom, and where you stop emancipation of the people and all that, could it be that what you're already saying is the reality compared to what we know?
Yes, if you look at it, what the president...
Are you speaking sentimentally or you're being factual?
I'm being factual. If you watch what the president of Nigeria preached when he was not the president of this country, and watch what is going on now, the way he climbed down on the media with DSS and all the rest of them, the things he promised that is going to bring a change, mention that things, they are opposite. You now believe what Sowore is saying, that is true. And what we had at that particular time, most of them are the people that were eating with Abiola and also clean Abiola, that went and told the government of the day at that particular time not to give Abiola the power. So you see what is happening in Nigeria today, because people will have been believing that Bola Ahmed Tinubu will have changed the narrative of Nigerian masses and the suffering of Nigerian masses. But what are we seeing? We are seeing the opposite. I wanted to say something before then. If you watch when they want to crucify Jesus Christ, and Pontius Pilate knew that Jesus' hand was clean, but people protested and said, no, release Barnabas. Even though they know that Barnabas was one of the fugitives they have at that particular time, they say, no, release Barnabas and keep Jesus Christ. And what did Pontius Pilate did? He released Barnabas because the people have spoken. This is what the people want, because they put you in power. So for the president of the Nigeria or government of the day doing opposite means that what Sowore is saying, he's correct, and nobody can dispute it with what we are seeing today.
Then my own addition, because I was still small then, though I was cautious of some things. Now that you see that somebody who wants to fight for democracy, you don't run to another country where everything is fantastic and it is easy. You are the war front. You don't fight battle in bedroom. You don't fight the battle on a dining where you know dining table where food is served. You don't fight the battle there. You go to the war front and fight the battle. Now those who were fighting for democracy there, they were on the battlefield field fighting it. They were arrested, they were prosecuted, they were taken to court, they were detained, they were beaten, harassed, assaulted physically, threatened, even their families and so many. You remember what happened to the wife of MK Abiola? You get now. You saw what happened to Ganifa Wehimi. So many said the man said anytime, every day, anytime he goes out, he normally carry his toothpaste and toothbrush in their bag. That because they know they may not come home. From there, they may find themselves in detention. So what I'm saying that somebody who lives in Nigeria cannot say that you fought for democracy. No, he left Nigeria, so he went to a place in which everything was rosy. And you are telling me also you are fighting based on the fact that you are tweeting or speaking.
According to Osho said, there was a fallout between Tinubu and Abacha.
So
and at that time, after a while,
Ganifa Wehimi, these are people who are for Ganifa Wehimi, Bekola, some Kuti, Tunde Braithwaite. These are people who were on ground, who were arrested, who actually fought for democracy.
Salama, if I may, please. You see, this is res loquitur. The facts speaks for themselves. You might not have been in their caucus, in their gathering then, but we can see exactly who is for democracy today. What is Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu doing for democracy today? It's so simple. You see, even if I say I don't believe Mr. Sowore, whether or not I believe Mr. Sowore does not matter. What matters is what has Tinubu done to the democracy of Nigeria. It is so simple. We don't even we don't need the truth say. What has he done?
Is not saying the truth, but what is happening now? Like he's saying,
there is no.
Now, according to Sowore,
without
he
fire.
said the person that started this system is Chief Olusegun Obasanjo.
Which system?
The system of impunity by the government.
Yes.
Of the day.
Which impunity did Obasanjo? Which impunity did
Let's
you
take
do?
a listen to him.
Who had a deputy of Obasanjo?
That's defamation.
It's not.
How would you say that of a former president? One of the most respectable African in the world.
It's respected by some people, but this is not disrespect. I'm just being. If the devil had a deputy, it would be Obasanjo.
That's defamation.
It's not.
How would you say that of a former president? One of the most respectable African in the world.
It's respected by some people, but this is not disrespect. I'm just being truthful.
You're speaking ill of the man who had gotten the grace to run this country 3 different times.
Well, he's gotten the grace to run this country 3 different times. He's also used it 3 different times to run the country down. So, how can someone be more devilish than that?
Because you wanted to be president. So would you have been devilish if you had been president?
Never.
So why would you refer to him?
Because his records show that nothing could have been done by the devil that he didn't do. Burning out OD Village, Zaki Piam, manipulating elections. It was during Obasanjo that an election was held in this country where there were no serial numbers in the ballot papers. And he said Yar'Adua won the election. Even Yar'Adua himself had to repudiate that election. That's Obasanjo for you. He was the one who masterminded the 3rd time, even though he kept denying it, but that was what made me refer to him as the deputy to the devil.
Because, that you're talking about the father of the Nigerian Fourth Republic.
Well,
the man who literally framed...
the father of many things and many people. But, I have also met his children, his biological children. And what I heard from them is, it will make you shudder. For instance, I met his son, Gbenga Obasanjo, years ago. We rode in his car from Benin Republic to Nigeria. It was those days I used to sneak into Nigeria. And the customs, I think immigration were trying to detain me. He came not knowing who I was. and they started shouting, like, who are these people fighting with immigration? So I didn't know who he was. I went on there, so that he wrote his name with a pen on their exercise book for entry into the country. He was coming from Benin Republic. And I said, this is Springoba. So I walked to him. I said, why are you being rude to us? He looked at me and said, who are you? I said, I'm Showore. That time we were doing a language, told me, about El-Rufai, Jimin. In fact, after the interview was published by the news magazine, interestingly, edited by Bayo Nanuga. So they had appointed me as their special correspondent at that time. So
you work closely with Bayo Nanuga.
Now, that and amongst other things that he made, if you Google the aspect of Gbenga Obasanjo, is actually there, where he alleged that his father was sleeping with his wife and that he doesn't trust that his children are actually his. It was a very big scandal at the time. So I'm going to ask you, Damilare, do you think Obasanjo is the one that started what this kind of the system we're currently experiencing? Because he has castigated this government. He has talked about what this government is doing. He says he's not happy. He's complaining about the corruption in the Senate. He's been anti the process of how things have been going on now. But people say he is the father, the chief of what exactly is turning out to be. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I would agree that he has a hand in all of this. You see, we did not just get here today.
You would agree? Can you recall the Obasanjo era?
Let me explain what I mean.
All right.
For example, now, you remember the 16 million or 60 billion scandal of money for power?
Power probe.
Electricity.
Former governor for own.
No, between the president and the vice president. Obasanjo
even when
and
former governor of the one that died on plane crash was power minister. Power probe. There was power.
And today we don't have any explanation.
No explanation.
And also, this allegedly that the rumor that of Position Feed the Nation became Obasanjo farms.
That was military time.
Exactly. So you see, we didn't just get here today. And also, you would remember that rigging had existed as far back as then. And even as of then, there was nothing like prosecuting electoral offenders. You see, the problem with a society that does not crack down on crime and wrongdoing is that the crime will begin to eat deeper and deeper into the core of the society. You see, before, it was not as bad as this. But the more the decadence, it's a cancer, it spreads. And now, it has eaten almost all the flesh in a country called Nigeria. That is the problem. During the time of past President Obasanjo, yes, he made a lot of errors. Administratively, there were a lot of scandal and financially. So yes, I would say Mr. Obasanjo is not a saint. We all know that. Except we all want to be hypocrites. Except we want to lie to ourselves, so we want to be hypocrites.
And if I may comment, okay.
During time of Obasanjo, it was the time that a sitting governor was kidnapped. Ngige.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's also
and
true.
He gave the credit to this. During Obasanjo told us election is do or die. It was during Obasanjo that
the massacre,
the massacre. It was during Obasanjo that Maurice Iwu from Imo State, will be in polling booth. They will announce the result. It was, I used to tell people that don't make something because you are in power. You are the system is okay for you at that particular time. When you live there, people will use it against you and want to. That is what we are seeing now. Obasanjo did their own at the crude level. Now these people are doing their own advanced level. Also in a crude way too.
Let me remind you. Remember, it was Obasanjo who even started the destruction of PDP. When APC was starting on that, he began to allege certain bring forth certain allegations against the Jonathan regime. Yeah. He tore his PDP card, did all of that. That gave credibility to the present day government, president, and the late president Muhammadu Buhari. If you cannot still recollect.
Actually, he gave you support to that in the first time. Now, I want to say something. Now, let us separate two things. To me, one, that Obasanjo is complaining now. I am not against it. In fact, it's a welcome thing to me.
It's a welcome thing.
It's welcome, because for him to be talking seriously, is good. That is the reality. But he cannot exonerate himself that he was the founder of what we are going through. When he was a head of state in 1970 something, and I keep asking this question, he should tell Nigerians, why did he prefer this presidential system of government he brought to us to the parliamentary system? Why did he prefer to nationalize all the resources of the region to the center? Because this presidential system of the government that is one that did everything, set the ball rolling for what we are going through. He made the president a dictator and made the people a slave.
All right.
I will not agree.
I'm coming, please. I want to, because we quickly need to open. I will open the phone lines, but let's quickly listen to this. During the weekend, I think on a Friday or Saturday, or was it on a Sunday? It was on a Saturday. A story broke out that there is a supposed coup d'etat to assassinate President Tinubu, Akpabio, and Vice President Shettima. According to the story, at least 16 senior military officers are currently in custody following allegations of a coup plot to topple Tinubu's government. And this story, first of all, was revealed by Sahara reporters. Now, according to the online publication, the officers range from the rank of captain to brigadier general. They were picked up from various locations across the country in a coordinated operation by the Defense Intelligence Agency and other security bodies. Now, while the defense headquarters initially described the arrest as part of a routine military exercise involving issues of indiscipline and breach of service regulations, sources within the military disclosed that the official explanation was a smokescreen to avoid panic. The 16 officers were planning a coup. The military authorities were just being diplomatic in the statement released by the spokesperson. This was a senior DIA official, which was quoted that they had begun holding secret meetings to overthrow the president and announce a military government. So, the Director of Defense Information, Brigadier General Tukur, said the officers' detention followed internal investigations into misconduct and disobedience. According to the investigations by the Director of Defense Information, they revealed that their grievances stemmed largely from perceived career stagnation caused by repeated failure in promotion examinations, among other issues. That was what was disclosed. Thereby, the officers were apprehended and they had been under jurisdiction for various crimes. They're either awaiting or undergoing trial, and their conduct was deemed incompatible with the standards of military service. Now, insiders are insisting that the arrests were linked to an attempted coup that was foiled after intelligence agencies intercepted communications and meeting plans, and that the conspirators planned to execute a coup during the October 1 Independence Day parade, targeting the president and senior officials in attendance, so that they were arrested while they were planning to stage the coup, and that was why the military parade was shut down last minute, saying that the president was going to go to the Senate to address Nigerians from there, if you can recall, at that particular day. Now, the defense headquarters has denied the reports that the parade of the 65th independence anniversary was cancelled as a result of a military coup attempt. The DHQ denied reports that the 16 officers currently under investigation for professional misconduct are linked to the alleged coup against President Bola Tinubu. The military explained that the reports of a coup attempt against the president are completely unfounded, harmful, and aimed at creating undue anxiety and mistrust within the community. That the denial was contained in a statement on Saturday issued by the Director of Defense Information, the same Brigadier General Tukur Gusau. So my question, I'm going to start with you, Mr. Tony Mbata. Where did the information come that there is an alleged coup attempt to assassinate the president, Akpabio, and Kashim Shettima? That's one. Two, how, if that is not the case, how did they let that get out? If the supposed coup attempt was on October 1, how come we're hearing about this a day or 2 days to the hashtag planned Free Nnamdi Kanu protest? Okay, now if that is not the truth, why are we hearing a counter narrative about it? Then finally, I'm going to ask you, do you think it's possible for a coup attempt to take place at this time and age of our democratic dispensation?
I to be sincere with you, I will not say I'm not surprised if such a thing, if there is a coup in Nigeria. I will not Let me not deceive myself.
I can categorically tell you that a coup can never take place in Nigeria.
Okay, but for me, I will not say so. But let me tell you that.
No, I can tell you why.
What APC cannot do does not exist.
Mr. Tony Bata,
Yes.
do you believe in the power of politics?
Yes, I believe. But
Do you believe that our defense has been politicized?
Yes.
Do you believe that those who can plan a coup are no longer active?
No.
Do you also believe that they have been settled? The first thing the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did when he came into office was to increase the salary of all military personnel across all the ranges. When I mean across all the hierarchy, that's 1, 2. A lot of them have been settled way back with oil wells. They have been properly taken care of.
Esther.
Any military coup that is to take place now will be detrimental to the country. You know why it will not be possible? There are international diplomacies and signatories that Nigeria has signed.
Okay.
Do you know that? Okay. Anybody who plans a coup knows that there will be sanctions imposed on them.
What about the one that happened in African countries?
I'm coming. Wait. Do you know why I'm saying so? Our politicians rely heavily in traveling abroad to these countries that will place sanctions on them. That's 1, 2. We rely heavily on imported produce. That's another thing. So whoever wants to impose a military coup must know that they want to sever whatever relationship they have with the international communities. And finally, any coup that is to take place must have an international backing.
Esther, Burkina Faso that is enjoying today.
Who says they're enjoying?
Go and check.
Have you gone to Burkina Faso lately?
Go make your research.
No, you've been listening to AI.
Not only AI.
No, you've been listening to interpreted AI reports. I'm not saying that nothing is working.
Let us say they are not. Okay, you're not saying.
I'm not saying that they're not working and doing okay. But you know that they're going through hard times because they've been cut out.
Okay, not only Burkina Faso, many of the Madagascar had a coup too, and let me tell you, yes, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, increased the salary of people doing military good.
Not people.
I mean the military, doing them good. Who are those people that the present government is doing good? It's the senior officers. The general ranking officers are suffering. That's why go to Sambisa, they are crying.
I told you what happened, that they're taking their monies from them.
Okay, what is happening is that they are settling themselves, and don't be surprised for such a thing. But what I'm telling you is that what APC cannot do does not exist, in the sense that these people can go and tell you that something of that nature is happening. Nothing is happening, in order to make sure that they will say, because of the security situation in the country, this protest cannot happen. We are telling you this and that. So I may not believe there's any coup that federal government is saying that happened. But I am not surprised if such a coup will happen in Nigeria, because people are crying. Most of the time that military took over the government is because of the suffering and pain that people are passing. Even though they are not good themselves, they will cash in that they are coming to help to ameliorate the suffering of the people. And when they come, even though they may be worse, but some of the developmental things we have seen are done by the military.
Mr. Lawal Ekundari, do you believe about that coup information when you heard? Did you believe it?
Say Nigeria.
Mr. Lawal, did you believe it when you read about it? Did you believe it?
I just remain indifferent. I remain indifferent about the story. You know why? Because one, military wants to take over power from a dictator.
Okay.
So I don't know how they are going to do that. Two, even the military too, they are not left out from the suffering.
All right.
Most of them are part of the people. They are really, we are both enjoying the suffering together. Because I know sometimes they will say that they didn't pay their salary on time, and I know that sometimes they will send them. I've seen where they go and fight terrorists with it's like somebody go with wielding cutlass, and you want to go and fight somebody with a machine gun. You are going to be pieces into shred. You see, even they are not properly equipped. Even the vehicle they carry, you wonder whether they want to go for party. So you can see that they too, they are feeling the brunt. So, and then third, for you to say that it cannot take place, there's nothing that cannot take place. I don't believe. Yes, there's nothing. What do you mean by now?
Okay.
Anything can take place.
Okay.
That's why they too, it's easy for them to that's why they are being careful. They quickly arrest and everything. But my own,
they quickly arrest. You actually.
That's why I see them arresting. Taking precautions.
Oh my God.
Yes, according to the DJ. But my major worry is this: if the DSS could be so, they have this intelligence to quickly arrest and stop. Even if there's a protest, coup they quickly stop it. Why can't they do that to these terrorists now? Why can't they do that to these terrorists? If you have good, that means Nigeria has, good instrument to be able to stop these terrorists if they want to stop it.
Oh, they
because this one, you see the way they do things now. If they need to do it,
there's a coordination somewhere.
And somewhere when you just like when they need to hide, they just come down and begin to. I mean,
Mr. Lawa, we've had reports from victims of kidnapping
and
banditry that a day or a week before the attack, the military will come in and disarm the entire community.
Aside from that, when they want to release victims, they are very decisive. They can track. If our Nigerian people, if our military and our air force or Nigerian police wants to work, they will do well.
Exactly.
I've been monitoring Harrison Gwamishu. He has actually been engaged in what you call citizen participation in rescuing kidnapped victims, and he's been going with security operatives, especially the military men, and he will tell you they are working. If you provide an enabling environment, give them all they desire to work, they would work.
And the police who would opportunity to work.
We live in a country where bandits, kidnappers would post videos online. Excuse me,
the money will go to their account.
You don't need security personnel to track that.
Barrister. Talk about Gumi. Talk about Gumi. You are even talking about internet. Talk about Gumi that go to them and negotiate and come back and talk to government.
You can even this negotiating with the government.
You saw that.
So that's
why. So these terrorists are all over the place, walking around and eating.
The military colluded. They colluded. So they are colluding. They know what they are doing. I've told us here that if federal government want to stop banditry or insecurity,
within a week,
they will stop it.
They will clear these things up.
What stops the government of the day from listening to the cries of their people? Right. I just need to understand that.
For me,
if the necessary things are done, I think your work speaks for itself.
Exactly.
So what is the issue? What's the problem?
No, there's no problem. They just don't want to.
You think so?
That is it. It is that simple.
There's a question that Sheung Okinbaloye asked. Is it possible that the president may not know what is happening?
How is that possible?
Hold on.
No, we are not holding on that.
Just hold on.
Okay,
let's hold on. There's a reason where I'm heading.
Okay.
Nigeria is a beautiful, peculiar, multicultural and multi-religious country, right?
Yes.
The president is being responsible for more than 200 million Nigerians. He appointed ministers, and there are parastatals and agencies that are meant to be responsible for certain needs. Governors are elected in their different states, right? His own job is to ensure that whatever project you need to be executed in your states, you write a budget, we're able to give it to you. There is FAC allocation for you monthly. I don't know the reason why they don't ask the governors questions as to what they're doing with the monies. Ministries, departments, and agencies, some are docile. Nobody is giving a report of what these ministries, departments, and agencies are doing. And we're experiencing a dilapidation in our security architecture, a stranded, struggling economy. Hold on, Mr. Lawaya Kundaya, right? Now, this is the issue. This is what I'm asking. If there are certain persons to be in charge of overseeing all of these projects that ameliorates the pains of Nigerians, and they are not doing so, would you blame the president who is supposedly giving you money to execute your job, put you in charge of making sure that every aspect of democracy or dividends of democracy gets across to everyone? Or would you say that somehow maybe it's the age of the president that is an impediment?
There is no maybe. Mr. Lava, please. There is no maybe. You see, I blame the president 100%. Let me tell you why.
Okay.
The president is not a newbie when it comes to politics and when it comes to administration. He was governor of Lagos State for 2 years.
2 times. 8 years.
2 terms.
So I mean 2 times. So I
go on.
decided to marry together.
Okay.
And he's not new to being in power. And please tell me who appointed the ministers? The president. Who appointed the heads? The president. So I do not understand this excuse. I remember during the last administration under late Muhammadu Buhari, this was the same excuse some people came up with. Oh, it's the people around him. Our president Bola Ahmed Tinubu said something during his campaign. He said, I left social media because these young people are just abusing me. They wanted to give me high blood pressure. I left. I was like, oh, so you see the tweets, just read the stuff on Facebook. Instead of just reading, why not do something? You don't. You see, that's we tend not to understand what it means to wield the machinery of the state. To wield the machinery of the state is the most powerful thing a man can have in his disposal. There is no excuse. Nobody is voted into power to get there and begin to give excuse. Give the people what they want. Give results.
Let me come in, Esther. With everything you have said, who is in charge of the Ministry of
Finance?
Petroleum? Who is in charge of the Ministry of Petroleum? You said the president. You said the president doesn't know what is going on. Who is in charge of Ministry of Petroleum? Who is the Minister for Petroleum? Oh, answer now. So the president is not in charge. He doesn't know what is going on in the ministry. He's in charge of.
Who
answer now? He appointed himself as minister, so he doesn't know what's going on in his ministry. Look at what you are saying now. How is that possible?
I'm asking a
that
question.
has already cancelled everything.
The question is not valid. It's not a valid question.
No, I've already asked you. I'm asking you that who is the minister for petroleum?
It's not a valid question.
Is it not the president?
The issue is that
And the president, the ministry is not.
And they deceive Nigerians. They have deceived Nigerians, and they keep lying, and they are not. In fact, one problem I have with APC government, they are not intelligent, because when they lie, people will see it. They will tell you refinery is working. Where is it working? They will tell you this. Nothing.
You look at a lot of lies around, a lot of deceit around that Ministry of Petroleum. Look at a lot of deceit. Look at a lot of deceit around the refinery. And the president is the Minister for Petroleum.
Mr. Lawal Ekundaro, Damilare, Omoyele Sowore once again is accusing Peter Obi of distancing himself from the ongoing Free Nnamdi Kanu campaign due to concerns about who is leading it. Okay? Now, on the Mycon podcast, which is part of the inserts I played earlier, Sowore said Obi doesn't want to be part of the Free Nnamdi Kanu protest because his people feel it's about who is leading it, adding that they believe it's a steal the show situation. I'm coming, I never land. Calm down.
It's boiling.
Now, let me tell you something.
You have to go.
Ever since Sowore decided to start this, a couple of Nigerians have been visiting his past. Those who don't really know him. He looks young, but he's been in this struggle for a very long time. He's been very bold and very brazen. He's the kind of voice that you say that is what the Nigerian youths are meant to emulate. A couple of people think that Nigerians have been psychologically handicapped, mentally padlocked, and that they are in an emotional state of, there's no paradigm shift in them. They're floating. So anywhere you blow them, they go. But it feels like he's the only sane person. He's been speaking so brazenly. He's fighting the DSS in court. The Inspector General of Police also has him in court. There are a couple of court cases that he's facing. I'm heading somewhere. And some Nigerians are beginning to look at him with a different perspective. Maybe this is the person we should be clamoring for. He's more of a do and talk compared to their other political opponents. Okay? Others have just been talking. Some are not really saying doing. Others say that for Nigeria to change, for that paradigm shift to be experienced, it needs to be rebellious. That's the only way to take power from the hands of those people. And Sowore represents that. And a couple of people are beginning to think about him by saying, maybe we should look at this man considerably for 2027.
Okay. Well, I believe everybody is entitled to their opinion.
Okay.
You see, we are in a very delicate stage in our country where nobody can impose or should impose or recommend a candidate to another.
All right.
We are in a situation where the past persons that have been handed trust, that we handed our trust, failed us.
Buhari. Yeah, we need to know.
And in this time now, it is not for somebody to sit down waiting for another person to tell him who to vote for or not to vote for. It is for you to make your findings. It is for you to make your findings. The information is everywhere. Technology has made the world and made information more accessible. Do your background checks. Get information as much as you want about a person. And the kind of leadership Nigeria needs, yes, I agree, is a very proactive leadership. We need people, and not just proactive, we need visionaries. You can be proactive and not even know what to do. We need visionaries. You see, Nigeria is a self-sustaining country. I can say that anywhere.
Mr. Lawai, because we need to open the phone lines. Do you think his arrogance could be an impediment to Nigerians trusting him with absolute power?
We need somebody who is arrogant. We need somebody who is daredevil, who is decisive. As long as that arrogance is to the benefit of Nigerians, and what he has been doing is to the benefit of Nigeria. The objective, the goal is to the in fact, is to the benefit. He has called out struggles. He has faced the government so many times. So we need somebody like that. I'm not saying, but what I'm trying to say is that we need people like anybody who's going to lead Nigeria must be somebody who has such and such characters.
He listens. Do you think he's someone who listens?
We don't need an arrogant person to rule this country.
So what do you need?
We don't need somebody. You see, somebody can.
No, what do you need?
We need somebody that you know what Nigerians want, and you go for it, and you get it. Not being arrogant, not being abusive, but you make sure that we are on the trajectory of development.
So you're saying that he cannot handle power?
He cannot handle power. I can give you instances. How many years now Showore is the, I don't want to start talking most of the thing, but what he's doing, you know, we have division of labor, and one where you have comparative advantage over the other, and Showore is not supposed to be calling them, this person is not coming. You are doing it as a Nigerian, that a fellow Nigerian is being detained, and you are saying that let us go and protest so that the injustice meant to him is not supposed to meant to anybody.
Some of the things he has been saying lately is very reasonable that other political elements have never considered.
No, I don't believe that, Esther.
Okay.
Look at when we have Abiola case. Every Nigerian came out because we believe that election, Abiola won that election. We didn't say.
But do you know that some people actually campaign against that?
Excuse me, sir, let me land. We didn't say let this person come because this person believe that he is somebody that is doing it. And that's why they are not coming. Trying to bring head of this. You see, there are certain things. If Showore began to say all these things, we now add some meanings. Why is he doing this and calling names?
He has actually explained the reason why he's doing that. That it's for justice to be served.
People. You are doing it, and Nigerians, many Nigerians, majority of them, or many of them say, what we are doing, we are buying into it. Go ahead with it. Stop calling people's name. Stop calling Peter Obi. And if you are calling Peter Obi, any
he didn't just call Peter Obi. He called Atiku Abubakar, who swiftly went on social media and responded. He reached out to former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Okay. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan said, "I will not do anything publicly, but I will show support by meeting with President Tinubu privately because you already know stats." And then they asked him a question that it's possible you're doing what you're doing because you want to get the southeastern votes. You want to divide Peter Obi's votes. And he said something that anybody who wants to win elections cannot win with the case of Nnamdi Kanu because he's a matter that everyone is very skeptical about. So he's fighting for justice, and that's what he represents.
So, can I land?
All right.
Which I agree with.
Anybody that loves P2B and where he's coming from will not want P2B to physically present at that protest because he represents something.
What?
If anything P2B did on that place, anything he does, the government of the
or
day,
if anything escalates,
are you saying he's afraid?
People will misinterpret it. The government of the day will misinterpret it, and you remember.
You know that
they've already been doing that now.
No, wait. You know that they've tagged him as someone who is biased.
Remember,
that he's only fighting the interest of a certain
something.
ethnic group. So you may realize that this could be one of the impediments.
One of the things, Governor of Ekiti State, just recent interview said that only opposition now this country have is P2B. So everything P2B is doing, he has to be very careful so that the government of the day will not. But he has said, I support this. So what else do you want him to do?
Okay. See, excuse me, Mr. Imba, are you speaking for Peter Obi? Are you Peter Obi's spokesperson? Let Peter Obi come out. As there was a time this man, when people say he should not talk, he came out and talked. So wait, excuse me, you are not the one to speak for him. He's an adult. He wants to rule a nation. People believe in him. You get it. So let him come out and continue to express the
But
way people believe in him. Stop speaking with him
who have been
for
reached
him.
out to, none of the other politicians who were reached out to say they'll be physically present. Atiku extended his gesture by tweeting what he tweeted, and that's it, by showing his support. Others, like former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, says, okay, I'll meet with the president. The only person is one of the senators who says, I'll be part of it. Benjamin Kalu came out to categorically warn the Igbos that, please, the government of the day, Nigeria. I was shocked when I saw that.
We know now.
No, I was shocked when I saw that. Benjamin Kalu said that it's an opportunity for the government of the day to kill the Igbos, bury them, and that they shouldn't be part of it.
Now, Hester, you see, a leader should not just be vocal and proactive. You must also be able to inspire followership.
Okay.
That is very important. A leader that cannot draw inspiration will become a dictator. You see, fine, you want to protest, right? Which is good. But if other people do not buy into your idea or vision, that does not make them persona non grata. No, it doesn't. You see, we can achieve the same thing with two different methodologies. It's simple.
Okay, so thank you very much. Let's open the phone lines, please. 08036929933. Very quickly, say political spotlight now, short time. Hello, good evening. How are you? Welcome. What's your name? Hold on, let me connect you. Yeah, you're connected.
Okay. I need everybody in the studio.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Lagos.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I need everybody in the studio. In terms of protest that we just said about P2B, see, as long as P2B is confined, people know that federal government is looking for something to hold against them. After 2023 election, they still can't find anything to hold against the government. So anybody coming to come out and protest is just looking for something to hold him down. People still supported the protest, and even some of his supporters, some of his colleagues agreed to follow and go for the protest. Why must he begin to that will come out before the protest will help?
All right,
so
thank you.
Somebody like Showore, who is looking for everything, even if I'm to say my opinion, Igbo is doing it, so should not be involved, because he has been the one that goes to the do never be said. So why would they be calling him now to come and protest? So I mean, to do something and say that PDB has done. If you want to go for protest, let me go for protest and leave PDB alone. That's my opinion.
No problem. 08036929933. The WhatsApp number is 0817175633. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hello, good evening.
Welcome, sir. What's your name?
Yeah, this is Harry from Akoka.
All right, please go ahead.
I just want to disagree with Mr. Mbaka. Whatever I be saying that during Obasanjo era, that people gathered together to cry for Obasanjo freedom. It wasn't like that. The era of military era, then people want change. They want military to go. That's why we come back together. But fast forward, when Sunday Igboho was arrested, Yoruba stood up for him. We made sure that he was free. But what is Igbo are doing? Whenever we are trying to support this Igbo for this presidency, your attitude, your countenance, the way you react to issue always baffles me. We want Igbo to become president. We Yoruba are supporting you. But whenever Yoruba speak, concerning Obi that should come out. If you really don't want to be a president, you sit down at home. Being a president is not a baby's work.
Okay.
So let Obi come out and fight for his rights. Simple as ABC.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Now, I want us to know that presidency is not about Igbo, Yoruba, or Hausa. It's about the person competent enough to lead Nigeria out of its current quagmire. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Welcome. What's your name?
Greetings to your guest.
Hello, what's your name, sir?
My name is Peter. Greetings to your guest.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. See, I want to say something about this Showore protest. You look at what he just read now. I spoke last time, and the Vice has said it. Why must he call again that he is withdrawing? He has not come again. And is it not the same support that P2B get to him that Atiku get to him? Why not he call Atiku and the other people? Why P2B? It's not good now. And again, concerning the military, all these people, they are eating Nigerians money. They don't want to do anything. They are just eating our money. they don't want to take over the government because, you know, if it is Igbo person that is there now, they would have done it. Because now, they don't want tribalism in Nigeria's corruption. And it's very good. It cannot help us. Let them do something. This APC government, they are giving us problems. That's not, they will call ourselves, you know, we are educated or something. We don't apply common sense. We don't do anything. It's unfair.
All right, thank you very much. 08036929933 and the WhatsApp number is 0817175638. Hello, sir. Good evening. How are you? Hello. All right, 08036929933. Hello. Good evening. How are you?
Hello.
Good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Master. My name is Chidi.
Chidi. Location,
Yes.
please.
From Bleba.
All right, Chidi. Go ahead.
My friends and family people.
Wow, welcome, sir. Welcome. Let me ring the welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so my own is that the protest that Mr. Shewere is organizing, they don't need to be calling PPD, because PPD is not the only politician in the southeast. I have been expecting to call the governor of any district, the governor of Anambra, and the governor of Ebonyi State and Abia State, where Nnamdi Kanu comes from, for them all to come out to do the protest. Because calling people to do all the kinds of the protest looks suspicious, and if they can target him, hold him for anything that happened on that protest. Please, if you want to carry out the protest, it's very, very good for the release of someone.
Much. The government of the day is afraid of protest because one that cuts others' heads does not allow anyone walk behind him with cutlass. They know the impact of protest and governance. Good evening and thanks. Inkonye in Ikotu. All right, good evening. It's Adeyemi Kamaru from Banana Island, Lagos. The biggest mistake that the former president Shehu Shagari did was not criminalizing Biafra before giving amnesty to Ojukwu. Tinubu should kindly save the future of Igbo children by criminalizing this illusion called Biafra so that another hoodlum like Uwazurike, Kanu, Ekpa and so will not surface again in the future to destroy our children just like they have destroyed the present generation. Adeyemi Kamaru. All right. Hello, good evening. Okay. 08036929933. Sister Esther and all the analysts in the studio, I greet you all. If you watch Mr. Shore's statement carefully, relating it with what's happening in Nigeria, would you agree that all his claims are true? As a matter of fact, Paul Obasanjo is one of the main actors of the quagmires going on in Nigeria today. Corruption, bad electoral system, and of course, poor national development were all initiated by him and Babangida to some extent. Egege from Agege. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Fine, thank you. My name is Emeka. I'm calling from Egondo.
All right, Emeka, please go ahead.
Good evening. Greetings to the analyst in the studio.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, sir.
I want to reply the last caller.
Okay.
I want to tell him that it is not only Easterners that are clamoring for a separate state. Even Yorubas are doing that. Recently, they went as far as New York to submit a proposal for their own nation. So the issue is that this nation is bedeviled with deep-rooted hypocrisy at every level. This is an evil virus that the colonial masters injected into our nation, and it has continued and abated. If Nigeria is working well, if there is love, if there is unity, if there is truth, if there is focus. When I was growing up, this nation had a very good prospect, establishing all kinds of vehicle assembly plants, universities of technology.
All right, so quickly, please.
So, but where are we today? That's the question.
All right.
So people should stop deceiving themselves that we are one.
Thank you very much. Dear Esther, I'm curious about your professional stance. When Omoyele Sowore allegedly insulted Barrister Darlington, you reached out to Barrister Darlington immediately to offer him a chance to respond and defend himself. Will you extend the same courtesy to those allegedly insulted by Omoyele Sowore yesterday on Seun Okinbale's podcast? Or is this another instance of perceived bias given your usual stance? Abidin, I actually understand your plight, and you have your opinion and perception to how you kind of analyze or interpret some of the conversations that we have here. It would be quite unfortunate if you are deluded to the current happenings in the country. But to respond to your question, yes, I did reach out to one of the aides to Olusegun Obasanjo. They have been very busy. Most of these people don't respond immediately, but trust me, whenever they do, we'll bring him on the program. However, I'll implore you to read on Gbenga Obasanjo's court case. He literally used his mouth to say what he said. And if you go historically to understudy the administration of Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, he's not perfect. Some of the things that Olusegun Omoyele Sowore actually disclosed were actually true. So I would implore you to read without sentiment, objectivity, and without bias. None of the politicians are perfect. Do you understand? And it's very obvious that Obasanjo regrets some of the things that he did, and that's why right now, even speaking up against some of the crimes by some persons right now, he may not really doff his heart because he understands that there is precedence. So Abidin, I applaud you to please read harder. Okay, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Oyewuchi Nikoto. Please, let's leave and forget Obasanjo's civil rule. Why? Because he came with military hangovers, unlike President Bola Tinubu that claimed democratic. I believe that if Obasanjo came in as second or third president of this dispensation, he would have learned to do better. From military to prison to becoming a democratic, he tried, in my opinion. Baba Yabo is better than today. Like I said, he's not perfect. He made mistakes. And you can hear someone saying that. Hello, good evening. How are you? Hello. Sorry. 080-3692-9933. 080-3692-9933. All right. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Yeah. Good evening. Good evening. Happy Sunday.
Oh, good evening.
Yeah. I did your best.
Go ahead, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah. Please, don't say that, this is so real. Because when it's okay, I want to know who is this man is. Say the father is a politician, or the father is the first man, or just because he goes to school very well. Because the way he speaks it, and he's a young guy. And then, because the kind of power where they say the talk, where Nigeria may even ask them any question. I don't know whether the father is the first man or the father is the president or because he's educated boy, something like that. Please, I just want to know about the guy just like that. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much. You can read about him though. But I think he's asking, is he an activist? Is he a politician? Where precisely does he fall?
Yes. All in all.
All right, Chukasin from First Access, Esther. I don't know whether APC always pay you to defend them anytime we are handling this program. Allow people to say the truth. Stop shutting them by asking several questions. As for coup in this country, it's going to happen. Solution for this country is for army to take over. Chukasin, you're one of those One Direction thinkers. All right, Chukasin, don't worry. I'm not APC spokesperson. I'm literally just doing my job. And I would implore you to just kind of do a background check of what the job entails. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Good evening.
Hello.
Hello, good evening, ma.
I can hear you. What's your name?
My name is Peter. Yes, sir. Good evening.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine, ma.
Please go ahead.
Calling from Lagos.
All right.
Good evening to your guest.
Good evening.
Hello.
Peter, go ahead. Very quick. We'll soon be wrapping up.
I want to ask something. If our president that President Bola Tinubu, one I want to ask, does he know that there is a killing in Benue State? True. I think that this man does not know what he's doing. He does not know what he's doing because when Buhari was alive.
Hello. Peter, next time when you come, just get your questions straight there. Today is short. Esther, I disagree with you. Increasing salaries of senior military officers doesn't stop if they want to carry out a coup. Remember, coup are carried out by low-rank military officers. It's not a must. They must be a general. Even a colonel can carry out a coup. All right, thank you very much. Good evening, VOP. Good evening to you. There is no coup at all. They brought all these lies together so that the protests will not hold, citing security reasons. Ima from Isolo. Okay, Ima from Isolo, I hear you. Esther, please, why don't you address Damilare proper? Is he not a barrister? Barrister Dami, I am so sorry. He says I should address you proper. He says, are you my junior brother? Pardon me, Barrister Dami. I sincerely do apologize. Okay.
No, but actually, barrister is not a title.
Well, he just wants me to address you like that.
Okay,
so
thank you.
I will address you like that, Barrister Dami. Madam Esther, take my word from me. If Mr. Peter Obi gets himself involved in this planned protest, Mr. Peter Obi will be arrested. This is a big, big red flag. This is my humble submission. Good day, Esther. It's not very clear that our leaders don't have a better Nigeria in them, and it was never their dream. So they can't give a better Nigeria to us. Hello, good morning. How are you?
Good evening.
Welcome, sir. What's your name?
My name is Kelechi Adike.
Mr. Kelechi, happy Sunday. Please go ahead.
This first time calling.
Really? Okay. Welcome.
Welcome.
Yeah, very grateful. I'm very grateful. Please, Mr. Showore, he's doing a nice job. But somehow I'm beginning to suspect his mood.
Why?
How can he be calling men P2B? In the fact we have known that Nigerian as a nation are very, very evil. They are desperate. They are targeting the young man, and you want maybe they have hired to organize this protest, maybe on behalf of P2B. It is not hired. I don't see the reason why he be mentioning that name. P2B should supposed to show himself there. Article Abubakar can give his own reason, and it's accepted. Why is he mentioning P2B? P2B has given his report, and everybody heard it. Could have mentioned P2B, and everything is working. I rest my case anyway because I'm suspecting that move.
All right, thank you very much. Buhari, as former president of Nigeria, did not represent Nigeria in the North well because during the tenure of Buhari, he brought more insecurity in the northern region. And up till tomorrow, people are dying in their numbers and more terrorists are trooping into the north with killing. And Tinubu has come with another pattern with Akpabio intimidation, vote buying, and all manner of wicked institutions and propaganda. Chairman from Akpabio. Evening, Esther. Tribalism is a big factor in Nigeria. That is why we can never have one voice. Without this, we'll remain the same. Abiodun from Isolo. Greetings, VP family. When Peter Obi intervened on Delhi Rotimi's incarceration, he didn't call all Yorubas to join him or made it a Yoruba affair. The sit-at-home Igbos are doing in South is a regular protest, and it came out because of casualties recorded during physical protest. That Showore-like protest doesn't mean everyone must toe that line. Peter Obi allegedly won the elections but was denied. Obi supporters wanted to protest, but he begged them not to protest. Amici from Mafulko. All right, Mr. Tony, finally, what's your final take?
My final take is that Nigerians must take our country back.
All right, Mr. Lawai Kundaya.
My own is that I have a dream in which let me see my dream now.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Let me read. I have a dream that Nigerian political office holders will truly be what they're supposed to be according to this constitution, servants of the people. You come into office, collect your salary, your allowances, go. Mr.
Barrister Dami, final take.
Don't make it sound weird. I beg.
It's so weird. Why? You worked for it, you earned it.
The way you said it.
Barrister Dami.
Quickly, I want to share a story.
No, there's no time.
A Nigerian child qualified to travel abroad for a mathematics competition, but the Federal Minister of Education said he does not have funding to sponsor the child. It's all over the internet.
Okay.
It is high time we began to do right.
All right.
By the people, the government needs to sit up, and instead of instigating division and bigotry, please, the least you can do is the barest minimum.
All right.
We are not asking for more.
You can sponsor Hajj.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being part of the conversation this evening. We sincerely do appreciate your input. My name is Esther Mwachiku. I will see you tomorrow on the Evening Rush with Barrister Dalanta Agumo. Hopefully, my voice would have been better by now. Do stay with us. Bye for now.